Alright, hey guys. In this video we're going to be going over conditional statements in Python. So a conditional statement is just a statement in which we want to say if something happens, then we want to execute a particular code that goes along with it. So let's say I declare a variable called age, and I set it equal to 20. So we have this variable age here, and it's an integer, which is equal to 20. Now, for a conditional statement, we use the keyword if, and we're going to say if age is equal to, and that is with two equal signs. This equates to is equal to, whereas one equal sign is setting age equal to whatever value you want right here. So we want to say if age is equal to 20, then we use a colon, and in Python we use colons and indentation rather than using curly braces like there are in other languages. So we use a colon and we'll say print age is, and we're going to say age, and we're going to use an f string here that we learned before. And now when we run this program, down here we get age is 20. Now there are a lot of other operators in which we can compare objects here. So this double equal sign is saying is equal to something. We can say less than. So if something is less than 20, so this is comparing if the value that is stored in age is less than this number 20. In this case, it's not because it's equal to. So if we print this out, we should see nothing, and we get nothing here. Now we can also do a less than or equal to, and when we do this, now it's comparing if any number that's stored in age is less than 20, or if it's also equal to 20. So now when we run this, we also get age is 20. We can do it the same way around as well. We can do age is greater than 20. In this case, it's not because it's just 20 equal to. Change this to 21 and we run it. Now we get age is 21. And if we set this back to 20 and we put greater than or equal to 20, again, we get age is 20. Now we can also add in multiple conditional statements in one line. So I'm going to set another variable here called name, and I'm going to set it to VJ. Now when age is greater than or equal to 20, this is true, but I'm also going to check this. I'm going to say and this and keyword in Python is similar to using two ampersands in other languages. So we'll say and name is equal to VJ, and remember, for checking if something is equal to something else, we don't just use one equal sign, we use two. So now when we run this, we can say age is equal to age and name is name. And now when we run this, we get age is 20, name is VJ. Now let's say I were to change this to John, for example. Now when we come and read this statement, it's going to check if the age is greater than or equal to 20, which it is, and it's going to say and name is equal to John. Well, in our case here, name is currently stored as VJ, not equal to John. So this and statement has to make sure that both of these conditions are true in order to run the indented code below it. So because this statement is not true, it doesn't matter if this statement was true or not. Now when we run this, we get no output. Now there's another keyword that you can put here as well instead of and, which is the or operator. This is the same thing as two pipes in other languages. So now when we use or, it's going to check if age is greater than or equal to 20, which is true, or name is equal to John. Now the or operator, all it wants to know is if one of these statements has to be true. And since our age statement is true, but our name statement is not, it's still going to run this block that's indented because age is true. So now when we run this, we get again, age is 20, name is VJ. Now what happens if this statement is not true and we don't get any output? So let's change this again to an and statement. And when we run this, we don't get any output. Now I want to print something out saying one of these two variables wasn't matching. So this is with an else statement. And to do this, we just do else and then another colon, and we again do our indent. So now everything that's indented on this else will be run if this statement turned out to be false. So now I'm going to say print, and I'm going to say either age or name does not match. Now when we run this, it's going to check if age is greater than or equal to 20, which it is. If name is equal to John, which it's not, and we have an AND statement here, so this one is false, so it will skip this code. And it's come down to this else since this was false, as it should print either name or age does not match. And here we have either age or name does not match. Now we can also check multiple things not being on the same line. This is using the else if statement. So in another language we might see else if. In Python it's just elif. And here we can also write another statement. So I'm going to add another variable here called money. And I'm going to set this equal to 10. Now, I can say here elif money is equal to 10. Then we can print here, we'll say money is money. Now, when we run this code, it's going to check if age is greater than or equal to 20, which is true. It's going to check if the name is equal to John, which is false, but we have an AND statement here. So this is going to equate to false. Now it's going to come down to this else if statement. It's going to check if money is equal to 10, which is true. So it'll print out what money is, and since this statement was true, this else statement will not get executed. And as you can see here, oh, and we forgot to put this as a F string, and we can see money here is 10. Now, if this were to be a correct statement up here, now that I changed that and to an or, now this if statement will be true, so it should run this block of code. An else if only gets executed if the previous statement above it was false. So now when we run this, we'll get age is age, name is name, and it'll skip the else if and the else statement. As you can see here, age is 20, name is VJ. Now we're going to go back to the idea of remembering that everything in Python is stored as objects. So I'm going to set a variable here called x, and I'm going to make this a list. Now, I forgot to mention in the last video, a list can contain any type of data types you want, not just integers. And you can actually mix the data types as well. So you can say 1, and then this is a string, 2, and you could say null here, or not null, it would be none, and so on and so forth. But for this, I'm just going to use integers again. I'm going to set this to 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to set another variable here called y, and I'm also going to set that to 1, 2, 3. Now, when we print this out, we get down here our list, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to show you here what happens when we print x is equal to y. Now, both of these contain 1, 2, 3 in both a list, so they will be equal to each other, right? Now, there's another key word for comparisons, and that is the is statement. So what is does is check the instance of our variables. So as you can see, x is its own object, y is its own object. However, they contain the same values, correct? So when we run this now, we'll get true and false because x is y. We're checking if the instance of y is equal to the instance of x, which it's not because it's a completely different variable. So if we say x is x, then we get true. Now I'm going to end this on an example, and we're going to take the example of test driving Tesla cars. So to test drive a Tesla car, you have to be at least 21 years old. So first I'm going to set my age here equal to 20, and then I'm also going to put a list here called VIP. And it's going to be a list of strings of people's names. So I'm going to say VJ, George, Sarah, and Bob. Now I'm also going to set my name here. And we're going to say that when somebody comes into the Tesla store, they're first going to ask them for their name to see if they're on the VIP list or not. To do this, we're going to say if, and then we want to check if the name is in, and in is another keyword in which we can check if this name variable is within this list. So I'm going to check if name is in VIP. Okay, so this is assuming right here within this code block that the name VJ was found inside of this list, which as you can see it is. So now that we're found in the VIP list, now we need to check our age. So now I'm going to say if age is greater than or equal to 21, because that is the age you must be in order to test drive a Tesla, is at least 21 years old, Then we're going to say, okay, your test vehicle is ready. Okay, now that we have done that, now we need to see if the age is not equal to 21 or greater, but our name is still on the VIP list. So now we'll say else, and here we'll print, you are not old enough to test drive today. Okay, so right now what we've covered is just checking if the age is greater than or equal to 21, and if your age is not greater than or equal to 21, then we'll print you're not old enough. And these are only for the people that have been inside the VIP list. Now let's also do a check outside of here, and this is for if people are not even in the VIP list. So now we'll say you are not found in the VIP list. And to make sure that to make sure that this else statement aligns with what this statement is, you want to be on the same indentation level. So as you can see, this if age is greater than or equal to 21 and this else statement, this else corresponds to this if statement up here since it's on the same indentation level. That's why we're saying that this else statement corresponds to you're not old enough, whereas this else statement is on the same indentation as this if statement, so this is saying you're not found in the VIP list. Okay, so when we run this code, we should see that the name is in the VIP list, it's the first item, and our age is not greater than or equal to 21. So we should see here, you are not old enough to drive today. And when we run this, we get, you are not old enough to drive today. So let's change our name now to 21. And now when we run this, our age will be 21 or greater, and it says our test vehicle is now ready. Now I'm going to change my name to something else. Let's say my name is George. And I'm still 21 years old. It just should say, yep, our vehicle is ready. Let's change our name to something that's not in the list, though. Let's change our name to John. Now, John is not on the VIP list, but his age is 21. However, because we don't even enter this if statement block to check our age, it'll only print out that we're not on the VIP list. And even if his age is not greater than or equal to 21, it's still not even going to reach inside of this if block here, and it will only print out you're not found on the VIP list. That's really all there is for conditional statements. In the next video, we're going to be going over loops.